On this episode of He Said, She Said Movie Reviews, we take a look at the movie Blinded by the Light, written by Mayeda Berges and Gurinder Chadha, also directed by Gurinder Chadha. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we went and saw Blinded by the Light. April gives this movie 3.75246, and I give it 3 stars. We'll tell you all about it right after these 2 trailers.
The first trailer we saw was The Good Liar. It's about a con artist that can hardly believe his luck when he meets a well-to-do widow. As she opens her home and her life to him, he is surprised to find himself caring about her, turning what should be a cut-and-dry swindle into the most treacherous tightrope walk of his life. The release date is November 15th. It's with Helen Mirren and McKellen. The second trailer we saw was The Peanut Butter Falcon. Zack runs away from his care home to make his dream of becoming a wrestler come true. The release date is August 9th. It's with Shia, LaBeouf, Dakota Johnson, and Zack Gottsagen. This movie looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to both of these movies.
Yeah, I mean the first one, but this second one about him he has special needs and just his dream, it looks really good.
It looks good. All right, so Blinded by the Light. This is the story that takes place in 1987 during the austere days of Margaret Thatcher's Britain. A teenager learns to live life, understanding his family, and find his own voice through music of Bruce Springsteen. This is by the people who brought us Bend It Like Beckham, one of our favorite soccer movies. The director was Gurinder Chadha, and it was written by Gurinder Chadha and Mayeda Berges, who also, both of those were the teams that gave us What's Cooking, Bend It Like Beckham, and The Viceroy's House. So, cast, I'm going to tell you up front, I'm going to butcher all these names anyway, so might as well just skip them. Well, Viveik, Kalra, Kulvinder, Ghir, Meera, Ganatra, Phagura, Dean Charles Chapman, got that one, Nikita, Mehta, Nell Williams, and Divina.
All right. The runtime was 118 minutes, rated PG-13 for some themes that were difficult, having to do with ethnic slurs, basically.
All right.
Okay.
So,
just want to jump in. I absolutely loved this movie. Tim and I took my nieces. We've got a sophomore, freshman, and a 5th grader in high school. They loved this movie as well. I want to just say right up front, I thought that they nailed what you go through when you're that young and you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to please other people, and that balance between learning about pleasing yourself and using your voice, which I know I talk about a lot on this podcast. Silence is agreement. And when you use your voice, you're able to represent yourself, but also force people around you to understand you better.
That was a mouthful, April.
That's a lot, I know, but I love this movie. I mean, I could go on for hours.
This movie had a theme about chasing your dreams. It had some father and son issues, and it was all about the old versus the new ways of life within a Pakistani family living in England. Like April said, it was a really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was about a man, a young boy growing up, not a young boy, young man, high school age guy growing up and finding the music of Bruce Springsteen and using that to get through his life.
Right.
It was almost a musical at times. They did break out into song. There were some musical scenes, but it wasn't a musical. It wasn't like Rocket Man, the Elton John story.
Right.
It did have a few musical scenes, but it wasn't a musical.
Right. I also want to say that some of the racial tones that they showed and some of the things, I know that part is always hard for me. Obviously, Tim and I would never tolerate any kind of racism of any kind. And I have a soft heart, so it was hard, but I will say that it showed, the time period. It showed what was going on there, but also what it was like to be him and his family as a minority.
But I thought you also got a good view of how the racism was handled in that whole theme of the old versus the new ways.
Yes, I agree.
How the parents handled the racism versus the kids. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought they did a really good job. Direction was good in this movie. The score, what can you say? It was the boss. So
I mean, even my little nieces were clicking their fingers. They know his music well. I enjoyed the cinematography, and I want to just say a moment on the production design. I enjoyed this so much. The lyrics on the screen, like the music video, was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was really cool. I thought there was a couple of the scenes where the music was playing and they made it more like a music video, something that you'd see on MTV versus something in a movie. I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah, I like that. And I thought the pace was just fine. And the dialogue, there was some amazing dialogue about chasing your dreams. And I want to just say, if you're a parent and you've got kids, I would say starting Tim, 5th, 6th grade, this would be a very, very timely movie to see.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you.
Right now, where our world is, number one. Number two, a time when kids particularly are so busy following other people's lives on social media instead of creating their own dreams. It'd be good. It's good to watch him, the sadness, the heart of having to stand up to his dad and just what he wants for himself and watching his confidence. Tim, my favorite thing in this movie is when he does one thing, he tries one thing. And when you watch the confidence in the first step, right, in building a foundation to a dream, and then the rest, boom, baby.
Yeah, I thought for Javed, who was the name of the main character, the protagonist, the story arc in this movie was great. He went from this kind of shy, closed-in guy to this really confident, grown man by the end of the movie. Great story arc in there. So I thought the writing was great. My only problem with this movie, and I just have one slight problem, and it's not a big problem. The guy playing Javed, Viveik Kalra, relatively new actor, and to me at times his acting felt a little forced. It was like almost for me he was overacting. But I asked April about that and the nieces about that after the movie, and they all thought I was cray-cray, as April would say. So
yeah, I also loved the part in the movie about his friendship with his best friend. They grew up together and they had some conflict, and I really appreciated how they handled it. So I think I liked his first girlfriend. I loved that it was age appropriate. There was just a lot of things about that movie that we were all crying. I mean, Tim was on the other side of my nieces. There's 3 of them. So I was on the far side and so was he. But we were all holding hands and crying because there was parts of it that were, and I mean a good cry.
Yeah, there's some very strong messages in this movie. Yeah. So it is, hey, listen, bottom line, this is a good family movie with family messages. If you have younger kids, or even high school age kids, it's going to give you stuff to talk about after the movie.
Yes.
There's some subjects in here, the racism, the chasing your dreams, believing in yourself. There's a lot of good stuff to take your kids to go see this movie and talk about and introduce them to the boss if they don't know anything about Bruce Springsteen.
Exactly. I say the same thing. Go and you will enjoy this young man's journey from his first love to his friendship he's had all his life to the family dynamics. But also, if you're limited in your family, and this is fine, but if you're limited in not knowing a lot of other cultures, this would be a good chance to educate your kids.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give it a 3.75. I'm going to go, it's not a 3.5 and it's not a 4, but it's in between, which ranks as one of the highest movies I've ever given a grade to. It was phenomenal. I plan on seeing it again, and I'm actually going to be recommending it at a huge expo for high schoolers I'm going to be speaking at. So I think it was great.
All right, so 3.75 and 3 stars. We love this movie. Definitely go see it. You're quickly running out of time. We're rapidly approaching our 100th episode. If you haven't already entered our contest for the $100 movie gift certificate from us, you got to do it soon.
Gotta hurry.
Because you're running out of time. You can go out to hesaidshesaidmovies.com/contest, and you can see how to get involved in the contest. We want to give this $100 to you.
Absolutely. And if you're anywhere in Atlanta, Georgia, get to the Spring Cinema and Tap House in Sandy Springs. That is our official sponsor. They are the best movie theater in all of the city of Atlanta, not just the heated seats, even if you're cold from the air conditioner. The recliners are top-notch luxury, but it's the bar. It's amazing. Great line of local craft beer, cocktails, and a couple bartenders that are amazing. So come on out and we'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies.